Welcome to our third video. This journal I've loosely themed around Alice in Wonderland, unused, so I can show you a little more of the technique that I've used in making it. Again, a charm, Zuta binding, internet image which I've antiqued with Tim Holtz, and the metal metallic rubbing inks, and forgive me, still can't remember the name. I've used actual black lace here which I've Mod Podged over the whole surface, and then used a crystal clear glaze to stop it being tacky, because I find Mod Podge can be very tacky. On the inside we have vintage classifieds which have been antiqued again with Distress ink and Mod Podged. First page, like the last video, I prefer not to use the first page, I find it a little overwhelming. So I've used a acetate with a quote that seemed relevant to the theme, and a teacup and a map. A card here which I can journal on the back, and a little pocket as a wee tuck spot for little bits. An envelope, rub-ons, and an image from scrapbooking paper, and a piece of scrapbooking paper double-sided inside. Vintage image with vintage newspaper advertising on the back, an old book with some calligraphy in it that I rather loved, and I've used washi tape to stick down a cover of an old journal. We tuck spot here, an envelope with a large window which I've overlaid with an image, scrapbooking paper, antiqued it down, and inside I've put a cover from an old children's book which I've cut a wee piece off, add some scalloping and some washi tape on the back. And then just a nice wee tuck spot there. From the same children's book I used earlier, some wee pieces I had left over that I've just used to pop in, and I can journal down the side. Plain lined paper, tuck spot there. Envelope which I have added some old advertising that I can just use as paper. Soup packet with a little paper bag on the back and some tags with ribbons. Vintage advertising envelope with a wee card inside. A window envelope which I've cut open and just laid flat with some washi tape to see through to the next page, which is an image from an old book, and I've used a vellum envelope pocket and some handmade paper with just some wee detailing like hinges on there. Old magazine image with bulldog clips which can be repositioned throughout the journal. An envelope which has been cut down and a tag added, and this is obviously the backing from some corners I got from a Tim Holtz product. I do like using these, they have beautiful images on them. The Cheshire Cat from the internet on an acetate, so you can see through to the next page, which is a vintage letter card. Some Czech confectionery which I particularly love, so I had to include that, and I can just pop a photo or something on the back of it. Scrapbooking paper which I was quite impressed with the texture of it and the sheen. I'm not sure if you can see it on the images. So I've just taken a longer strip, folded it over, shaped it there, and tucked in a piece of scrapbooking cardstock there. Another magazine image, paper clips with ribbon on them. This is a subscription slip from the National Geographic, which you see in all their magazines. So I've just popped washi tape there, covered up all the text, put a rub on, and added a wee tag, and I've stuck it on so that you can use it as a pocket, and I've got a wee card there. More scrapbooking cards with a vintage metal index tab which I've just popped the word bluff in. This is an old notebook I had, which I've gutted and just stuck in there. More, forgive me, it's not coming open. Scrapbooking paper, which is shaped. Paint charts, which I've just double-sided so that it's not blank. Vintage postcard. Adhered an old advertising plastic bag too, and some playing cards that I can use for journaling or photos. Little glassine envelope and some mini playing cards. An internet image. A magazine image, which I've just added some banners to, and a small envelope with a tag that I've cut out from a packet of tea. A playing card of some sort that I got with a sticker over the top. Scrapbooking paper, envelope with washi tape, and a card inside for journaling. This one, scrapbooking paper with an internet image that I've adhered to cardstock so that it forms a tab and a wee tuck spot there, and just some scrapbooking bits there. Scrapbooking paper, vintage postcards, and I've popped old stamps on. An incense box where I've rounded the corners. This came with a gift voucher I was given, so I've cut the end off the envelope. You can see it's just been sealed down there, and I've just popped an old postcard inside. A reproduction vintage paper bag that I've added a strip to so that it doesn't interfere with the paper bag, and I've added little tie downs there just to make it a wee secret space. A page from one of my favourite books, some letterhead, more scrapbooking paper, and a wee pop there. Glassine envelope with another old notebook that I've recycled and popped some extra pages into. Scrapbooking paper, an old Russian book, an envelope that I've just adhered the tab to the back of the page, popped a wee belly band on there as well, washi tape, and on the inside of the envelope there's a little spot for some postcards. Internet image again, internet image, a old card, glassine envelope and tags, and the last page is music, and then more vintage advertising with distress ink and Mod Podge. On the back of this particular journal I have reversed the image that's on the cover, so when you're printing them you just put it reversed, and use the lace down there again. So that's album number 3. I hope you've enjoyed, and just one to go.